Hey guys, it's Tays Green Life with Jade. Cat is it Casanona? Cas? How
You,
do you say it?
my middle name is Cassiana, but you don't have to address me like that. Just Jade is fine. Thanks for
Well,
trying, man.
it's
I'll give
good
you credit for
to
trying.
yeah, it's good to have you here. You do the musical Misfit? Is that or
Yes,
mystical? Yeah, musical Misfit. Yeah.
dude, you're killing me. Can't even get my name right. I'm
uh,
stewing. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
That's honestly like one of the worst things I have. Like I remember people's faces, but I can never remember like the names, no matter how hard I try. Like they just, I'm just like, oh, that one band, that,
That one band,
that one band.
that
There's
one girl I met at that garage show, like during the summertime when we were all dying.
yes, that was pretty cool actually.
It was. It was.
How everyone was just locally just chilling and vibing and just like hanging out. I think I wrote my name down on someone's back at one point.
Yeah,
Um,
someone had like a shirt. I think it was like someone's birthday or something, and they just were like, "Hey, you want to sign my shirt?"
I swear it was the back. I remember writing it on someone's sweaty back, and I was
There
like,
we go. That's what it was. That's what it was.
yeah, and I was like, oh god. But it was great. I know there's gonna probably be more like that coming up soon.
Sweet.
So many of them, yeah.
Nice.
How long have you been in the podcast business?
I've been doing this for over a year now, getting coming up on 2 years.
And how did you get into something like this?
So originally it started as a project with me and my friend from college, Guy, who also has a podcast called Some Guy's Opinion. He's on Spotify and stuff as well. You guys should check him out. He's pretty
Yep.
funny. Now I know shameless plug, right? But nah, he's a really good friend of mine, and so we were gonna do something where um he wanted to talk about like sports and video games and stuff like that, and I wanted to talk about music, and so we were gonna try to combine things that came up in both
Mhm.
worlds and talk about them from the perspective of someone involved in like rock and whatnot. And he's more of a rap kind of person, which I mean I listen to everything, but that was my main focus at the time. And so we did like one episode which was fun, and then we realized that it we didn't really vibe the way we thought we did, and off camera like we're still really good friends, but it just didn't fit. We
Yeah.
both wanted to go in different directions with it, and originally I can't even technically take credit for the name because Guy originally came up with it, or it was a collaboration in the name. And then after Guy stepped away, I was just kind of posting some stuff on Facebook, and I found my friend Dustin Perry, who was doing the project with me for a little bit, and then he stepped away because he was in nursing school. He's an EMT now, which is awesome, and he also has a baby. So he had a lot going on, and so he kind of stepped away from things too. He's still kind of around, but it's mainly just me. So I run all the social media. I do all the booking for the podcast guests. I'm the one that goes to shows and takes pictures and all of that stuff. It's just me.
I understand. I'm lucky enough to have someone who was like, "Yeah, I like your podcast. Let me edit it for you." Um, lucky enough, but I do everything. Like I had to like rebrand. I've been rebranding like all my stuff, and I've been doing it the past couple days. And like yesterday,
Nice.
I was like doing work in the bed on my laptop, just trying to watch TV and rest while working. And I was like, "Look at me."
Look at
Because
us.
like
Look at
yeah,
us.
I never thought I would be like doing this. Like I got similar thing happened to me too. I was helping out someone with the podcast. I was actually doing the questions for the podcast and the scheduling. And then he was like, "Do you want to be a co-host?" And I was like, "I guess." And then he was like, "Oh, you now.
I guess. Oh, by the way, here you go.
And I
It was a
remember my
trap.
first interview, he just calls me up and he's like, I'm not going to do this interview. Can you just do it? And I was like,
What?
it,
Yikes.
it was Ryan Warren's house, and the drummer for Three Piece was there, and they were
Got
tracking,
it.
and I was like, I'm so sorry, but I need your help. And so Ryan and then just like and Scott hooked me up on my first interview, and I think it was pretty sure it was Jeremy. It was Jeremy Anderson. And
Nice.
I never really did an interview, and I was like, oh my God, this is so bad. I look so bad. I'm gonna do so bad. And I just did it, and I was like, wow, that
Do
was
you
so easy.
do you know Darren Perry, aka Mayhem Jesus?
Yes, I've not like met him, but I've heard of him. So
I That was our technically our first like official interview. That was one of our the first episodes we ever did. We did like some introductory stuff where we talked about like music that we liked and what we grew up on, and some festivals that were coming up. And then we had Darren on, and that was like our first official like interview, and it was very nerve-wracking. It was terrifying, but then once it was over, I was like, oh, I want to do this again. And so it just kind of grew and blossomed from there.
yeah, I feel like because now I try to like stack interviews in. And then like at the end of the day, I'm like, oh my God, if I have to talk to one more person, I'm going to scream.
It'd be like that. I love
Because I'm like,
talking to
I
bands.
small talk.
I love talking to the bands. I love talking with people
Yeah.
that have now become my friends, like Toby and all the guys from Three Piece. Aaron and Scott, love you guys. The guys from like Dispose, like I'm pretty good friends with Jacob, and just different people. Like I've become close with a lot of really cool, awesome people. But I'll be damned if sometimes I don't get tired of talking. Like sometimes I'm like,
Man.
oh God, another one. Ugh.
Somebody was like, do you ever get tired of concerts? And I was like, honestly, I kind of do at this point. I'm like, I would rather like, I mean, I love concerts. I love talking to people and networking and being out in the scene, but sometimes I'm just like, I want to be out in my like my bed. Like I want to lay down because like I also work a full-time job. So like I don't have time to like
It'd
take
be
care of my
like
mental
that.
health. Yeah, and
It'd
I
be
have
like
to
that.
force myself to do it now because like if I don't, I know I'm going to be stressed out. My interviews are not going to come out good. I'm not going to work.
Well,
Like I'll take a whole week off of doing things and I'm like, "Oh my God, no."
don't overwork yourself, and planning ahead is key. I found that out the hard way. I hit a wall like right before the holidays. I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. And then
Yeah.
I had like a quarter life crisis because I'm not old enough to have a midlife crisis yet. Not yet, anyway. Woo, still in my 20s. But yeah, I took I guess a few week break, and I just had some stuff that was um, scheduled ahead of time, which gave me time to kind of regroup and, kind of
Yep.
re not rebrand per se, but kind of realign with what my mission was. And my mission has always been to promote and talk to and help local and DIY bands as much as humanly possible, whether it's sharing their tour poster over and over again, or um, buying merch, or having them on my show. And even if that episode does terrible and only like one person listens to it,
Yeah.
that one person now knows that band.
Hmm.
And so that band just gained one more fan, and that, to me, that means I've done my job.
Yes. I try to make it my mission to like talk to people and talk to as many people and like there'll be people talking to me about something that they need. And I'll be like, "Oh, I know this person." And I'm like,
Yep.
"You can go to this
Story of
person."
my life.
And I'm like, "Oh, wait. Let me share this person. Let me do this." Because I don't just do bands. I try to do like
Other
small
stuff too.
businesses and other stuff.
Yeah.
So like the more I focus on bands, the more bands come after. But now I'm like, I still not doing like the small business
Other stuff.
that
Yeah.
yeah. But I'm trying. Like I'm talking to the people now that are in like that make the scene happen, not just the fans, but like the artists and like the merch creators and stuff like that.
Yes, the scene could not exist without
Yes.
the people behind the people that run sound, the people that
Yes.
book shows, like the people that design merch or sell it, or what have you, photographers, videographers, all of those people. If you are listening right now,
Please.
for thank you. Like, in all seriousness, thank you,
Yes.
because the scene could not exist without you. Yeah, it's the obviously musicians and bands and artists are this at the center, but there's another layer of people that help make these things happen. We wouldn't have shows if it wasn't for people who are willing to book and run venues, and like, shout out to places like Riff House and Another Round and Scandals, and shout out to promoters and
Yes.
people like Caleb Good and Nick, that has his own photography project, and people like that are making waves and helping book these
Yes.
amazing shows. And I'm pretty sure that Paleface show that Caleb booked sold out, so rip, but it's fine.
I'm actually going to the Gideon show.
Are you?
And yes, I genuinely like Gideon. So I'm super excited. And
Fair, valid.
I forgot his name. Damien from of Virtue is either I think he's I'm so bad because I'm like I don't know if they're a bassist or guitarist. That's the one curse I have. I'm like one of them. He plays his guitar. I think it's for the Fallen Dreams. And I've already interviewed him. I'm like, oh, now I get to meet you in person.
Hmm.
Like, that is insane. Like, I never thought. I literally just went to concerts and I was like, why don't I just like be a social network? Like,
I
I'm
mean, it's
I feel like I have a personality to like talk to people at the end of the day because like I want people to talk to me, I want help, like I'm helping these other people, and the more like the things I do, the more things come, and it's exciting because Richmond is big and full of opportunities.
it has so many bands that I can't even name all of them, and
Yeah, I'll be
it's
like, I know I saw you, but I which one? It's so bad.
yeah, and networking is key. Like, for just a nugget of advice for anyone listening, networking and communicating effectively with people is key. And I say communicating effectively because you can message someone all day long and blow them up and what have you, but if you can't show what you have to offer that person, or what you plan on doing, and have a clear vision of what your project is going to be, then most people aren't going to give you the time of day. And it's not even like in a mean way. It's more of like a, especially nowadays when you get on Facebook, like, the first thing that I see normally when I get on Facebook nowadays is something related to music, whether it is some photos from a show from the night before, or a band poster, or someone has a new single getting ready to come out and they want me to go pre-save it, or whatever. All of those things are the things that we get bombarded with on a daily basis. So you have to, like, make sure that you're communicating effectively. If you need help, reach out to somebody. There's a plethora of people that you can talk to that probably know somebody who can help you. And if they don't know them, then somebody else might know them, and then so on and so forth. And it
Yes.
just keeps on going.
Because like I try to like surround myself with people that have the same like mindset, the same like willpower. Like the shirt behind me, my roommate does like t-shirts now. So like she does
Nice.
fucking yeah, she's got a printer, a little like an iron that she uses to do her
Aw.
t-shirts. Yeah, and then like my other roommate, she does like a bath bomb mystical products and stuff like that. And I because I make
Oh.
candles, so like me and my roommate like decided to share one of the big rooms. We were like, you know what? Why don't we make the master bedroom into like a craft studio and like crazy? Like we have this whole space. Like I started doing live interviews in there, and I was like, I guess it looks so cool because it looks like a little shop. and it's just full of jars and products to make and artwork, and then you have my little office, and then like I feel like working with people who and like being around people with the same mindset is important too. Like you could do all this hard work, but it doesn't matter because of the people you surround yourself with too.
For sure. Yeah, and it's hard, especially with so many people trying to do booking or, do photos for bands or whatever. There's ample opportunity to connect with some great people, and then there's unfortunately ample opportunity to connect with some not great people. And so you have to navigate and find your tribe. And I was lucky enough to find of quite a few groups of people that I vibe with fairly well. Shout out Mikey and everyone from Fight From Within. Shout out Dan Whitehouse from Total Deathcore and
Yep.
all of you guys. And every Virginia band, I can't even name you all. Era, Three Piece,
Do it all, yes.
Lament Configuration, Dispose. Um,
I
they're
love
not
it.
from Virginia technically, but Gradual Slip, like all of you guys, Heavy's the Head,
Let's do
Scourge of
it.
Lilith. I could Grave Huffer. I could keep going. Honestly, it's there's so many
There's
great,
so many
awesome
that I'm like,
people.
ah.
Like
But we love you
Vilified,
guys.
Varia,
Yes.
Set for Tomorrow,
Except for tomorrow, love you
House
guys.
Divided. Like, there's so
All of
many
them.
of y'all.
Um, so what kind of art, like, have you talked to big artists?
Uh, 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 uh well, um, I would say yes and no. I mean, my main focus has always been like the local guys and like
Yeah.
the smaller people, but I've interviewed, um, I did a terrible job at it, but I interviewed Taylor Barber from Left to Suffer. I've talked to Adam Ramey from Dropout Kings back before Hey dropped, like the year before or whenever it was. It was like a super long time ago. It feels like now. I mean, I've interviewed bands like Premonitions, um, so many. It it's hard to keep track, but it's a lot of people, and I'm fortunate and blessed enough to have people that want to talk to me and want to um like like I'm scrolling now and just looking back at some of the
Yeah.
interviews I've done. I mean, Dead Switch is another Virginia band. Wretched Idol, they're from out west. Um, Autumn Lies Buried. Fuck, Autumn Lies Buried. Jesus Christ, phenomenal band. Hardcore Keem.
Hmm.
I've had was fortunate enough to get
Yes. I
him on
saw
my
that one and I
show.
was like,
That
oh, yes,
that
girl,
episode
yes.
that episode was called "Get the Bag, Sis" because we were joking about um getting like paid to do reactions or something like that because reaction channels are a bit of a hot topic and they have been for like the past few months or so. And so like we were just talking about just different things, and we were saying like, oh, if you actually, he was like, if I got paid like to do some of this stuff, like the amount of money that some of these supposed labels are supposedly offering people, which apparently is not a thing. Like,
No.
and I was just like, you know what? Hashtag get the bag, sis. Do what you got to do. So we just, um, man, I've done so many. Like, I've had Mikey from Fight for Within on the show before. I want to have him back. Mikey, it's happening. You're coming back. Damn it. It will happen. Um, another podcast actually that mostly focuses on music business and stuff
Mhm.
is the Band Hive podcast from James Cross. Shout out James. He was also a guest on my show, and I love your work. He's a little goofy, a little corny, but I enjoy his stuff a lot, and he gives really solid advice about how to manage and um whatnot. So it it this community and this like group of people, it extends far beyond little
It does.
Alta Vista, Virginia. Like I'm talking to people from freaking Arizona and New Mexico, New York, like
I got
all
I
kinds of
interviewed, yeah, I interviewed like a band from Scotland,
what?
and the lead singer, like manages like these two other UK bands, and they've been like reaching out, and I was like, I
Who?
was like, I haven't even
Oh,
got. I was like,
Cable.
let me get America, please.
Cable. That was another one that is an international band that I've had on the
Yeah,
show. They're from Denmark and they're
it's
they're
insane.
phenomenal. Right? Like
I'm
the
like, how?
internet.
I'm like, let me get America, please. I was like, but who the fuck's sharing my shit in like Germany and like
Like it's
because you
crazy
can like
because
you can look at it,
yeah,
tell you,
you
and
can
I'm
look
like,
and see like where your show is at the
mostly
biggest
it's
and
men. I've noticed that mostly,
yeah,
and
yeah,
I'm
it's
like, you
mostly
know what?
dudes.
I wanna reach more to feminine ladies. I want the ladies, or it
Oh,
doesn't even
lady.
have to be that, you know. It just I want to like open up and talk to women who have businesses. That's all I want. Like, because I'm a woman and I wanna show my, feminine pride. And
Oh,
I wish more women would come out. Like there's a female drummer. I'm not sure what the band is. I gotta look back, but they were like, do you just want just all females or can a female drummer work? And I was like, right there, that's what I want. Like I just
um,
want to
have
see
you
more women.
have you reached out to Mindy from Dying Oath?
I'm not. I
Kick
should.
ass, a
I've been
kick
looking
ass
at it.
vocalist and super nice person. I was fortunate enough to do a written interview with them a while back, and like again, super nice person. And
Yeah, I
they've
love
gotten to
that.
play Blue Ridge Rock Fest. I think they played last year or the year before, and I think they're trying to play again this year. I could be wrong, but um, they were, they're dope people.
I'm excited for the new year. Because there's just so much things that are happening that I'm just like, I just got to work through it. I was like, my mental health,
Yeah.
like work through it, and I'll be able to do it. And with saying that, what kind of things are we expecting from you for the rest of the year?
Um,
Just
just
more interviews,
There's more interviews. I'm trying to get on some festivals and try to come out and do some live stuff. Um, more corny memes.
please.
just
Please.
just doing what I can to help the scene grow. Whether it's again just sharing people's stuff, whether it's having bands on my show that no one's ever heard of, and it's funny like someone actually a while back was told me they were like, you need to focus on the bigger guys because that's what's going to build you a following, which I completely agree with. And trends are a thing, and they're going to continue to be a thing as long as the internet is a thing.
Yes.
But I also like wanted to stay true to why I started this in the first place. So yeah, I try to balance it out between really bad Ronnie Radke jokes and talking to local bands from cities and states that I've never even been to.
That's cool. Like, I'm excited to see what you come up with next. I'm excited for both of us because both of us.
You're out there doing stuff too. I mean,
I know, like
we're
concerts.
in
I'm just
this
like,
we're
why do
in
I
this
have to
big
wear my
group
platform
chat.
boots?
We're in these group chats and stuff now, and I see you interviewing people like Corey and just
That was
different all
fun.
kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I'm like pushing, but then like there's always like a week where it starts to slow down because like with work I go like I do like every other weekend. So then when
Okay,
I'm like off for a weekend, I have like a whole like week of working and I'm just like too tired. So like that's why I slow down a little bit. But like I still feel like I'm putting in enough time because when you have a business, you have to put as much time as you would as a full-time job. Like
pretty much.
you
Whether
have to
it's
constantly be like my boss is always like, why are you on your phone? And I'm like, because that's what I do. I was like,
I feel like I'm
social
always on my
media.
phone. Well, because well for me it's when you get on Facebook, that's how I hear about like announcements for bands and
Really?
you know like you get on and like I said, you get bombarded with, hey, pre-save this single because it comes out in a month, or hey, we have a show in a month at this place at this time. You probably can't go, but will you please share our poster? Okay, thanks. Like, and no one like
Yeah.
disclaimer, no one like begs for that kind of stuff. I just do it just because.
Yeah,
But
if it's something I genuinely like, I'll too be like,
oh
I'm
yeah,
not gonna
yeah.
go, but I'll share it.
That's
Yeah.
why that's why I feel like I'm always plugging the same bands, but I do it because I genuinely care about those bands. Like and I genuinely care about the people in those bands. So,
I'm
um,
actually seeing them tomorrow.
you saying who? You know
So
what?
yeah, like I'm super excited. Disposed, Divided, and Three Piece. I actually just talked to Nate the other day. Um,
I
yeah,
hate
Dispose is in the
you.
works, but I'm just like I'm chilling. I'm not like in a rush to talk to everybody. There's plenty of time. Like, and
Yeah,
if they don't want to get on, then it's cool too. I'll still share stuff. Like, it's
yeah.
not like you know.
I've had so far. I mean, I've had a few people like straight up just not answer me, or
Yeah.
hey, we'll get back to you when we have time. And you have to keep in mind that yes, these are musicians and people who need promotion and stuff like that, but they're also human beings
Hmm.
that have their own things going on. They have their own struggles. They have their own um, lives to live. They have jobs. They have kids. Like they have other stuff going on besides their band. So it's important to, and
Hmm.
that's something else that I try to emulate within my show is to talk. Yeah, we talk about a lot of band stuff, but show the human side of that person that's playing that instrument or screaming vocals. Like it's not just about that. It's about showing, you know, that there's a human being with, feelings that works their ass off to do what they are aiming to do within this industry. And it's hard, especially when there's so many other people doing the same thing. And so it takes, they say it takes a village to raise a child, but it takes a whole community
Oh,
to help
yeah.
raise a band. And then you interlock that community with
Yep.
other communities who are helping other bands, and then it just keeps growing and growing and growing. And it can be a little overwhelming sometimes. Like sometimes when I open the group chat and there's like 150 messages, and I'm like, like what happened? Who died?
Sometimes I'll be like, because I plug my phone up when I'll use my GPS into
Yeah.
my radio, and then it's like I have an automatic reader, so like every second I'm just like, let me just mute you for like 15 minutes when I like get where I need to be, and I'll go through. But it's like I try very hard, but then there's like so many other people that are messaging me too, so I'm like trying to keep up with all that
Yeah.
stuff, and then I'm trying to keep up with work, and I'm trying to keep up with like having actual like relationships besides the business relationships, and like
Hmm.
it's a
And
lot
that's
to do. Yeah,
yeah,
and
and
like
and
people
that's
are always,
why it's nice to. Sorry, I mean to interrupt you.
you are perfect,
Um,
it's okay.
that's why it's nice to, yeah, like for example, like Mikey or Toby or Dan or like uh different people that I am fortunate enough to have a personal relationship with, that I can actually call some of these guys my friends. Like it's not just the, oh, well, I met you at a show and you were on my podcast and then that was the end of it. Like no, like I
Yeah.
still like talk to a lot of these people, like a lot of these people like on a weekly basis, like,
Yeah.
and the ones that I probably annoy the shit out of you, thank you for not, you know, ignoring me or shutting me out. I really appreciate it. I could
I'm always
probably
showing
get.
up too at like shows, and I'm like, hey, and they're like, it's you again.
Yep, I think that happened the first couple of shows. The first couple of three-piece shows I went to, they were like, "Did you really drive that far to come see us?" Yeah.
I'm
Like,
always at the Richmond ones, and like they're always like, oh, Taylor's here, and I'm like,
oh, hi.
hey, how's it going? You're only 20 minutes from my house.
Must be nice. I live 2.5 hours away from Richmond,
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
and then
I'm
four
lucky on
hours away
that.
from Virginia Beach. So
I'm like,
every time they announce a show for like Scandals or Riff House, I'm like, oh, cool. I'll have to see if I can, take off work, and then I'm not driving
yeah.
4 hours there and four
Some of the
hours
local
back, so
bands
I
be like,
gotta
come
book
to these shows, and I'm like,
I gotta
that's
book a
like a 2 hour
hotel for the
drive. I'm
weekend.
like, I love you guys. I'll share all your posts, but my car will
However,
fall apart.
it'd be a little rough sometimes, but
But
um
teamwork and community is very important. Like, it makes me happy waking up and people being like, yeah, whatever you need anything, just let me know. And I'm like, I've never
You're
grew up
like,
with that.
yay.
Like, yeah, thank you guys. That's great. Thank
Yeah.
you for coming on my podcast because I appreciate it. You're doing the same thing, and we're both like trying to love each other. Like I love your posts. I love
Oh,
your
thanks.
yeah. I do. I will sit there and listen to them, and I'm like, wow. I wish I was like that.
No, you don't. No, and it takes time
Yeah.
to. How long have you been doing your podcast?
For 7 to 8 months now.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it takes time to grow, and I made a few mistakes along the way. Like I definitely have gotten a lot better about actually writing things down, and that helps a tremendous amount.
Yeah, I got like a
One of
whole list of
my
things on the screen over here to let me know things to talk about.
one of my um most important interviews I look back on, and I was not in the right headspace at all. Like I butchered it. I feel like I was super choppy and like distracted, and it can be kind of rough sometimes, but you just work through it and you go back, and I almost refuse to listen to anything that I put out.
I hate
So
it. When
I
I was
can't
editing my stuff,
stand
I was
it.
like,
I cannot stand the sound of my own voice. I
I
absolutely
giggle too
cannot.
much.
I can't do it. Um but that's also why it's nice to have people that will tell you, "Hey, no offense, but you kind of sound like ass. Can you like get your life together, please? Thanks." Or, "Hey, you should try doing this instead of
No,
this." Or
Cody's always pushing me to be more funnier. He's like, be more funny, like
be
do
more
crazy
funny.
stuff. And I'm like, I don't want to. Because
I
I don't
mean,
know if you saw the Evan interview. Yeah, that one, he's my best friend. Evan Gaskill, he does like his own stuff, like his own vocals, his own drums. He's got like a ghostwriter guitar, and I work with him. So having him like on my podcast was like the
you're
coolest thing.
like,
And like he was taking my mic from me, and
oh
it was
no,
probably the one that got the most views out of everybody.
really? I mean, hey, as our Lord and Savior Hardcore Keem says, if y'all aren't standing out musically or creatively or whatever, one of y'all got to be funny.
Literally,
Somebody
I'm
in the
just like,
band
but
has to
I'm
be
not
funny.
funny.
I mean, I have like, I feel like I have very dry humor. Like, I feel like I'm like Dwight from The Office, but I actually hate The Office. That, you know, but it takes a while, and you have to um be willing to explore the new things and try to improve and take advice at face value. And sometimes you, everybody always has an opinion and always will have something to say, but just take the advice that you can with a grain of salt and use it if it's something viable that you can actually, use to improve upon. And if not, then just keep it moving.
Keep going. You just got to work through it. Like the good thing about starting, it's not a good thing. It's a scary thing, but you have to take risks to do it. Like
Yeah,
you have to
for
just like
sure.
people don't understand. They're like, oh, you could probably just take a whole month off, and I'm like, if I take a whole month off, there's a chance that I could go viral that month, but I chose to not like work through my shit to do it. And like I could lose a chance at someone big, or I could lose a chance at like a conversation that needs to happen because I'm not available at that time. And like it's a full-time job. It's not like I'm just behind a computer screen. I'm interviewing, I'm coming up with questions, I'm scheduling, I'm going through social media like constantly.
Oh
Like
my,
I'm
I feel
surprised
like
my
I'm always
phone
on it.
is surviving.
Always, I am glued to my phone. Like
Yeah.
Instagram isn't as bad, but Facebook, I feel like I'm constantly on Facebook, like all day long, and I'm constantly getting
I like to ship
notifications.
post too on Facebook. So people like look at my ship posting and they're like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Oh no, it's ship posting. Like,
Yep,
I'm
yep.
good. I'm not gonna kill myself."
I promise, I'm just kidding.
Um,
And the other thing with Facebook now is that it has Facebook Meta, where it's like
all combined now.
business
Yes.
stuff, and it shows you like all this data and all this information, and
Yes.
it doubles your notifications because you get a Facebook notification, and then you get a Meta notification of the exact same thing, and so it's like,
Yeah,
ah.
literally.
So it can be a lot, but it's very rewarding, and I intend to keep doing it for as long as the internet will let me.
I love that. I love to hear that. We got like a couple minutes left. Is there anything
Sure.
else you want to go over before we get out of here? We got like a 4 minutes.
Do you have any other questions for me?
um, what kind of things do you think would make the scene better? Like, do you
Um
think there's anything that needs to be added?
um just better communication, being willing to work together in collaborations, maybe jumping a little bit outside the genre. I mean, we've seen the things that Bring Me the Horizon and Dropout Kings and bands like that that are, stepping outside their comfort zone and doing something a little bit outside the box. So um, that will definitely add some more support and um, more people to the scene. We need people to be in
Yes,
the scene because if there's no people, then there's no scene. So
literally.
bringing more people in, not being as gatekeeping. Like yeah, like some stuff needs to be withheld and protected or whatever, but being welcoming to new people who are just exploring the genre and trying to figure it all out. Um, so those things and just less drama, less nitpickiness, less pissing contests. Like we're all just trying to vibe and live and you know do what we can to help the scene
Yes,
continue to grow. And we can't do that if we're constantly at each other's throats and you know and shit talking and well this person did this and this person did like yeah like some stuff needs to be held accountable but overall just less drama and let's just try to be adults and get along.
literally. It's all about peace. That's all we want. Like peace, community, and we all want everyone to work towards a common goal.
And it's not going to be sunshine and rainbows all the time. It's not. I've come to that reality very quickly. But it's just you kind of just have to find again find your tribe, find the people that you vibe with, and be cordial with people that you don't. And if you can't do that, then just keep your mouth shut and don't say anything.
Perfect. This was a great interview. You want to go ahead and put your plugs in so everyone knows where to go?
Yes, yes. Follow me on all the socials. Follow me on the Instagram and the Facebook and the Twitter. Even though I really don't get on Twitter like that, low key. Don't judge me. But
Yeah, I hate
my
Twitter, honestly.
dude, honestly, like it feels like such a chore. I'm just like, oh, I hate Twitter. But we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'm gonna be bringing TikTok back soon. I got to get my life together on that. My podcast is up on Spotify, Amazon, Google Podcast, iHeartRadio, and a few other randos. Keep sharing, keep liking, keep commenting, keep supporting the scene. Go to shows, buy merch, bring your kids, bring your dog, and
Everybody, bring everybody.
yes,
All right, it was great talking to you. Make sure you guys follow Jade on everything because she's great. Her podcast is amazing too. It was good
I
talking
try.
to you. Bye.